A wise man once said, believe someone's action more than his words. When it comes to Jacob Zuma, clearly his actions speak louder than his words. The ANC has summoned Jacob Zuma to a disciplinary hearing tomorrow, but then made a U-turn 2 days later and said, no, we don't want to see you. What was the ANC thinking calling Jacob Zuma to Lituli House? What was their strategy? Let's speak about that and much more.
Welcome to King Said So, Africa's one land, one language, one currency, one army on King Said So. Africans can unite. Your Pan-Africanist podcast. Enjoy.
Disciplinary process with regard to former President Jacob Zuma is underway in terms of the ANC's disciplinary processes. And he will go through a disciplinary process and he will go and argue his case there. And it's up to the disciplinary committee to make a finding. It's not up to any one of us to preempt that and pronounce a finding. So the disciplinary committee works independently of all the other functioning or executive structures of the ANC. With regard to the NHI,
Peace in Pan-Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, the King. 053 Mr. Easy Imali Eneng. And we're back at it again with another one. And this time around, we're speaking about the ANC failing to take decisions once again. Taking decisions and not sticking to them. Step aside rule, disciplinary hearings and all of that. They are simply failing to stick to decisions, and this is not a good look. Listen, I said last 2-3 days ago when I heard that the ANC is summoning Jacob Zuma, I said this is a bad idea. Why would you give MK Party the leverage to come and campaign in Lituli House, at Lituli House? Why would you give them that much power? That's free publicity. Why would anyone 3 weeks before the election give Jacob Zuma that much power? It did not make sense. Because at DC hearing, it was also not going to be concluded in one day. Who knows what was going to happen if Jacob Zuma came that day. But one thing for sure is that outside there was going to be a sea of green t-shirts, a sea of singers, a sea of MK people singing, dancing outside Lituli House. And do you want that as the ANC? And the answer was simply no. Why is it that the ANC how did they come to this decision? I know they are pressed with time, that they're supposed to, when a member of a party acts the way Jacob Zuma has acted, I think their time frame is like 6 months. They must act within 6 months and make sure that they conclude the disciplinary hearing of someone who broke the conduct of the ANC. But my goodness, everyone saw that this is a bad idea. How come ANC leaders did not see this one? Now you have found yourself in a position where you have to explain why you have to cancel the DC hearing. No, man. This is disappointing. This is disappointing. Well, let's listen to what the Secretary General of the ANC is saying about this matter. But for me, very disappointing. Very disappointing.
Some of these elements, including former leaders of the ANC, have through their pronouncements and actions clearly and unambiguously placed themselves outside the ANC through violation of its constitution, the solemn contract between the organization and its members, by, I quote, standing in an election for local and provincial or national government or acting as the election agent or canvasser of a person standing in such election for any political party in opposition to a candidate duly endorsed by NEC or PC, close quote. These members have, in the eyes of ANC members and society, effectively, quote unquote, constructively resigned or expelled themselves from the ANC. Notwithstanding this reality, the ANC is committed to the rule of law and following the processes set out in the ANC constitution, including disciplinary processes. However, the leadership of the ANC is also committed and duty-bound to act responsibly in safeguarding the life and property of its members and the people of South Africa and the integrity and stability of the electoral process. The Constitution of the ANC enjoins the NEC and the Secretary General's office to respect the integrity and independence of the National Disciplinary Committee and to take all steps necessary to support its work, including ensuring the safety of its members. In pursuance of this duty and based on an assessment of the security situation prevailing at Luthuli House, the Secretary General's office was advised that activities that have the potential to attract large gatherings that might result in violent or disruptive behavior are not advisable, especially close to election day. This is exacerbated by the activities of certain political parties in organizing demonstrations and sit-ins at Luthuli House, disguised as neutral people, but within those marches and the sittings that have happened here, we have identified political parties which have organized such destructive activities along our building at Luthuli House. And we have taken steps legally to correct that particular situation. And we will further take steps even to the Electoral Commission to expose these activities of some of these political parties. It was in this context that the NDC was requested to be mindful of these concerns and consider holding in abeyance any disciplinary proceedings that require in-person meetings at Luthuli House until the 2024 elections. The ANC-led alliance and the broad progressive movement remains the only reliable force that is capable and that has a tradition of uniting and working with various social forces to advance the national democratic agenda. Unique among political formation in South Africa, the ANC has been able to work with workers, women, youth, progressive professionals, intellectuals, business people, middle strata, faith-based organizations, cultural activists, traditional leaders, and various community-based and non-governmental organizations to achieve social and economic change. The onslaught against transformation should make us more determined this year to succeed in building a better life for all and to be more deliberate and resolute about the renewal of the ANC, the broad democratic forces, and our society. At the same time, there are forces that seek to use this election to undo the progress of democracy. It is crucial that together we defend our hard-won freedom.
Now we have found ourselves asking questions that we are not going to get answers. Is the ANC scared of Jacob Zuma? Number one. And by Jacob Zuma, I mean the Mkhonto weSizwe political party. Why are we saying that? It's because this week, the whole week, all former presidents, all ANC top 6 leaders will be in KwaZulu-Natal. Did they want to move Jacob Zuma from KwaZulu-Natal and make sure that they keep the MK supporters in Johannesburg so that they can be in KwaZulu-Natal? Could that be true? We don't know. Yeah, you left us to speculate on the decision. Let me address this thing because I see a lot of analysts are continuously repeating this thing of the crowd being violent.
Now, the ANC has previously enjoyed support from crowds. I mean, be it court hearings, be it rallies, and even previously when we've seen past disciplinary hearings, Ace, Supra, Julius. Why is there security concern around this particular disciplinary hearing of the former president, Jacob Zuma?
Well, I think the issue is that Jacob Zuma and the MK party in particular have been threatening violence at every point that, Jacob Zuma has been asked to be held to account for various of his accusations that he's been facing, and also when he's been challenged. We've also seen the same MK members who have been known to say and make statements like, if Jacob Zuma is not on that ballot, then South Africa is going to have to answer for it because there won't be an election, and other such utterances. And so I'm not surprised that, it's got to a point where there are security concerns.
Yeah, but it's interesting because now we know that a lot of the threats came from, excuse me, the former Youth League political leader of the Umkhonto weSizwe party, who has now been removed from that position. So can it still be said that there is a security threat?
Well, I mean, I don't think he's the only one who has made these utterances. We've got two members or two members of the party, former and current, who have been, accused of inciting violence because of their utterances. And this is not, I mean, those two members are the ones who one would argue maybe have said the most insightful things, but the MK members have been, since this election period started and since they've been, declared as a political party that's standing, have been basically alluding to the fact that they will use violence, they will use any means necessary in order to get what they want. And I think this is why the ANC, the last time I checked, they said that they were considering or looking into the idea of having the DC happen virtually so that you can avoid the issue of crowds and you can avoid the issue of any potential violence due to Jacob Zuma having to appear
outside in gatherings. Guys, how many times does Jacob Zuma attend court cases? How many times does Jacob Zuma make appearances, MK appearances? Where did you guys see any violence? Remind me of a court case where Jacob Zuma was there and outside people started fighting and distracting the place. This notion that the MK party is a violent party is wrong. It's completely wrong. These people have completely shown us that they can carry themselves in a disciplined manner outside in venues. They've shown us. No, Ubongi Nkosi Khanyile has made careless remarks. They have dealt with Bongi Nkosi Khanyile. They have recalled him to show that they don't promote what he was saying. Now, what is it that this thing of MK is going to cause distraction? What is that? If you are scared of people, say you are scared of people. MK people gather every week. There isn't any violence that is being reported. Of course, there will be isolated situations. I saw an MK lady got beaten up by something, and you see ANC people beating up MK. There are isolated situations for every political party. I saw an EFF member fighting. I saw a DA member fighting with a PA member. The videos are trending on Facebook. You understand what I'm saying? But it is not at the scale that they are trying to report as if the July unrest is going to happen again. June unrest, was it July or June? They are trying to make it as if the June unrest is going to occur again. Why? Because they are tribalizing MK with Zulu people and saying these people are violent people. That is what they are trying to do. And mainstream media is pushing that notion in your face, guys. I want to tell you guys, because we are the voices that are unheard in the mainstream platforms. I'm telling you guys, it is not true. MK supporters have shown discipline event after event. Event after event. I mean, the ANC, someone got shot there in an event of the ANC? Why don't you say the ANC is a violent political party? If it was the MK that someone got shot, if they were going to publicize it so much every time, so it's just to prove their point, their notion that the MK is violent. I don't like what this clueless, what do they call them, political analysts are doing. The MK has not shown South Africa that they are a violent political party, full stop. Until they show you, then you can talk. Because a lot of blame is going to be targeted towards the MK political party come 3 weeks to the elections. Because we are going to see some scuffles. We are going to see some temper rising up. We are going to see that this is a very important election. It is normal that is going to happen. The police have to play their game. Maybe you might even need to bring the army, security, intelligence. You might need to do all of those things. But do not blame it all on MK party. Don't do that. Don't do that. Let's go back to the ANC. Stick to decisions. Stick to decisions. If you say step aside rule, do a step aside rule. Don't deal with the faction of within the ANC with the step aside rule. Do not change. Do not change because you favoring other people are more equal than. You understand what I'm saying? If you say people, those who are going to be named in the Zondo Commission are going to be pushed aside, they have to step aside, continue with that decision. The same people are on the national list. Oh, what does it help? What does it help? So for me, I'm disappointed is no longer a correct word to use, man, to describe how indecisive the ANC is. Like disappointed is no longer, someone has to assist me with another word. I'm not disappointed, man. I'm not disappointed because it's expected that they do this. Undecisive in what they are doing. And if there's something I cannot tolerate, is undecisive people. People who say left, but maybe right, I may be straight, I may be back, maybe you don't know where you are standing with these people. Jacob Zuma's actions speak louder than his words. He can say, hey, I'm an ANC member. Don't listen to that nonsense. Watch his actions. His actions are telling you he's no longer an ANC member. Why do you even need a disciplinary hearing for that? Just expel him. Expel him. You've got enough reason. You've got enough case. Even if Jacob Zuma comes back 5 years from now and say, no, I'm still a member, I'm challenging the decision of the DC, there is enough evidence that you have accumulated over the last 6 months that Jacob Zuma is no longer an ANC member. Expel the man. Save yourself the headache. Even after elections, you still want to deal with this guy. Even after elections, you still want to give him the shine. You still want to give him the attention. You still want to give him the exposure. The MK is coming out saying, we don't trust the ANC. We are even going to bring our own chairs. Jacob Zuma must sit on a chair that we brought. He must not drink anything, must not eat anything. You see where we are going with this as African people. It's disappointing. It's disappointing, really. It's very disappointing. But anyway, I'm happy. I'm happy that the DC is not going to happen. I was curious to see what was going to happen, but not outside. Outside, like I said, I'm not worried about MK people gathering anyway. MK people can come gather here outside my house. Ngisafe kakhulu futhi. Kakhulu futhi. They can gather outside my workplace. They can gather outside my church. They can gather outside my gym. Anywhere where MK gathers, I know they're going to be singing and they're going to be dancing. But hush, 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 hush. Then they go home. In their cars, they go back home in their motorcade. No problems. But Lento Leo, you're labeling MK as a violent political party. Where is your evidence? Where is your evidence? Where is your evidence? You know? I mean, you can't take small isolated incidents of which I have stated. You can find those isolated incidents for every political party that is seriously campaigning this year. Not these ones that are campaigning half. I've even seen Rise Mzansi people fighting with people taking off their flyers, their placards, their advertising material. We in that season. We are in that season. Ziyakhala manje. Uyangithola? So yes, my people, that's all I wanted to say. Empty climax again from the ANC. Very, very disappointing. I'm looking for another word for disappointing. But let's see. You know what? I see Abo, Didi Mabuza, they are all out. The ANC really has got their budget and I'll call it the personalities to go out and reach out to the people in terms of the door-to-door campaign and everything that they are doing. They have that reach as the ANC. If the people are believing them or smiling with them, but in their hearts they're saying something else, nobody knows, you know. But it looks like they are doing a good job in terms of this getting everyone out on a hands on deck type of a thing. They are all working, so that is good. The EFF also, and with those two political parties, the ANC and the EFF, you don't have to struggle in terms of getting material. Their material is on their Facebook page, on their Twitter, on their YouTube. Everything is there. It's easy to just take their material, repost it, analyze it, and do whatever you want to do with their material. So easy. The rest of the political parties, you will struggle with MK. You will struggle with MK footages. It's so boring. Like I said, the youth of MK, someone was supposed to take the charge of camera work and media. I say, we are the media team. We'll take the pictures. We will take the videos. We will post them on Facebook, at least on Facebook, and on maybe not on YouTube, but on Facebook and Twitter maybe. You know, but at least on Facebook, let there be a reliable platform where you can go and find Umkhonto Wesizwe materials. You know, you can't be beaten with the other political parties. You need to compete. You need to compete. And the EFF was the first to do this. The EFF has got the biggest Facebook page, the biggest, I believe, YouTube following, biggest everything in terms of they're the ones that did this podcasting long time ago. Everyone has followed with this podcasting. The ANC is also doing it. If you are a political party and you don't have a podcast to speak to your people, wenzani. But anyway, click the subscribe button. Thank you guys. I think we are 24,000 people that has subscribed to this channel. YouTube still tells us that there are more people that are watching without subscribing. So I'll appreciate it if you are enjoying the content. It is absolutely free to subscribe. You are not paying anything. If you want to be a member of the channel, by all means, I appreciate those who are contributing their 20 rand each and every month. I appreciate it so much. It keeps your boy going. It's very tough to be a content creator. Umsebenzi lento le asihlali la. Hayi asihlali la. Click the subscribe button, it's free. Click the like button, it's free. Hit your comments on the comment section, it's free. It's free. It's free. You don't pay anything to do that. Ngiyabonga kakhulu futhi. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. After you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan-Africanism. I salute you.